So Robert E. Lee surrenders to Ulysses S. Grant at Appomattox, thereby ending the American Civil War. So now what? Everything's going to be all hunky dory, right? The South, which had fought for states' rights and its right to secede from the United States, which hadn't been recognized legally as another country by the U.S. government, mind you, they're just going to capitulate and just walk right back and want to do whatever these Yankees want them to do, right? And Northerners don't want to overtly punish Southerners, do they? Hmm. You mean you may have a continued conflict that no longer involves war? Yes. That's what happens next in our nation's history in the post Civil War era. What happens with the South? How do you reintegrate the South back into America? How do you reintegrate a whole region that tried to separate from you? How do you integrate economic policy without further invigorating the anger and resentment that Southerners might have? How could you potentially maybe be lenient enough to where they would be reasonably okay with coming back into the Union? What measures would you take to bring these states back into the Union? What would they have to agree to? What are things going to be like for newly freed slaves? You have a whole entire African American population which had by and large been enslaved for the better part of several hundred years. Now what? Are things just going to be hunky-dory for them now that slavery is over? All of these come as questions in an era after the American Civil War to rebuild our country and to realign things in a form of reconstruction. We are reconstructing our country that had been devastated by the effects of the Civil War. We're going to address all of those questions I posed for Chapter 15, Reconstruction.